I want to introduce you to a brand that I'm working with called Dizzo. They offer dissolvable supplement strips, which means the vitamins are absorbed 4 times more than tablets and capsules. So these are perfect if you want quicker results or maybe you can't take tablets. You guys know that I only work with brands that I love. I am personally using their B12 strips and their energy strip. As a business owner, I get tired. So I kind of need that boost every day, and these are definitely helping with my energy levels. I'm also taking their multivitamin strips, which taste lovely. Go and check out their website in the show notes. Go and order yours and let me know what you think. Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Life of KG. Me and Amy are doing another episode and we're going to be talking about budget, which I know everyone's freaking about, but it's all good. Like, you don't need to panic. Hopefully after this episode you'll feel a little bit more at ease, but
more stressed, who knows?
Yeah, who knows. But what I did want to mention is franchising. Now, if you don't know what franchising is, then you definitely need to check out Amy's page, because she is queen of franchise, and it basically is, if you wanted your own salon but didn't know where to start, maybe you just didn't want to do it on your own because it is so scary doing it on your own, and obviously you've got to start up from scratch, then franchise is definitely for you. So do you want to just give a quick overview of what franchising is and how could someone join you?
So franchising is when it's like a business in a box, right? So it's when you know that you want to have your own salon, you know you want to have your own business, but you have no experience in management, you have no experience in running a business, and you really don't even know where to start. Then franchising is the perfect opportunity, because you basically have everything that I've spent the last 11 years learning, but you get it all handed to you straight away. You get someone, I do management training, we teach all your staff, I teach you how to recruit, how to train, teach you how to set up your business, basically hold your hand through the whole process. So you're paying for the expertise, and then ongoing, you're paying for basically having a business coach in your pocket to help you. Because my goal is to make my franchisees as successful as possible. More successful they are, more successful I am.
Yeah.
So, you get all of that you need to have a successful business, but you just do it under my brand.
Amazing. So if anyone has any questions or they're interested in finding out more, where should they head over to?
amy@muiz.co.uk, or just check out muizfranchise.co.uk. There's loads of free downloadables. We've got downloadable PDF, got checklist on there. There's a video on there as well that you can access that is tells you everything you need to know about the franchise journey and what that looks like, what the costs are, how much you should look at making, because it's very different. When you set up on your own, there's so much to think about. We literally have a checklist for everything. And we have a marketing company that does all of your launch with you, you know, like everything. It's like a slick operation. You haven't got to think about panicking about anything, even down to how to set up a limited company, how to go VAT registered. It is like a step-by-step guide for everything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend it if you're thinking of starting a salon. Like, it's a no-brainer to have that force behind you as well to help you be successful.
Yeah, and also there's so many, you know, it's such a high ratio of businesses that fold within the first year or 2 years, just because people are setting up business that have never run a business before. But also, you know, people are setting up business but they've never managed a team before. So if you know that you have this like burning desire to have your own business, but you just don't know how to do it, like, just check out the different franchises that are available, including mine.
Amazing. Thanks for that.
Thanks.
So let's talk about budget.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, everyone's kind of freaking out. I know I said that I wasn't as worried.
I know. It wasn't as bad as I thought. That's what you said on your video. It's not bad.
I thought that corporation tax was going to go up. I thought like 25%.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I thought minimum wage was going to go up to £15.
Wow, you really did go in, didn't you?
Do you know why this is? Because I have a fiance that lives on TikTok, and he literally hears all this stuff, and then he comes home and he tells me, and I go into panic mode. So I'm like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty shit.
It is shit, and it is going to affect all of us.
Yeah. And it's going to make us look at how we run businesses differently. I think there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of panic. And like I'm in some of the Facebook groups. I pick my Facebook groups wisely because there's so much noise, isn't there? And there's so much fear. And I think it depends on how many team you have, what level you're at. If you're at that level where you're not paying VAT, this is going to have a massive impact, I think. Yeah. But also we now have like 60 people working in our teams, I think, across our salons. So, and whatever decision I make, I've got to make with the franchise network in mind as well. So there's the two options, isn't there? Like minimum wage is going up. Yes, it should happen. Yes, everybody deserves to earn a decent salary.
And it happens it does happen every year, right?
What, Jesus Christ, like 4 pay rises we've had in the last 3 years. Like, talk about absolutely crucifying the middleman.
Yeah.
Like, this SMEs are going to really struggle. But also, when you think about, like, we are service-based industries, if you compare us like for like with retail, for example, we have, 4 times the amount of people to deliver the same revenue.
Yeah.
But we don't have VAT. This is the biggest problem, is we can't claim VAT back against payroll. So if we're running at 60% payroll, that's now going to be 62%, we can't claim VAT back on that, but we're paying 20% VAT.
Yeah.
So we're actually the highest taxed industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we're paying all this VAT, but we can't claim it against anything other than our stock, which are minimal anyway.
I hate that so much. But unfortunately...
it's one of those bills, isn't it? But I think the minimum wage, I agree. The difficulty we've all got in is that we're basically putting it straight onto our clients rather than thinking outside the box a little bit. So yes, we've done price increases every year, and I think the industry needs to level up when it comes to pricing. We were saying earlier, weren't we? Like, I was comparing builder gel, like we do overlays. We are famous for overlays. We are really, really good at them with builder gel overlays. And when I compare how much we're charging, so we charge 43 without colour, 48 with colour, right? When I looked at other countries, Dubai was £70 for the same service. America's like between 50 and 60. And I was looking more for franchises because that's what I'm comparing to, like those salons that do have multi-sites. When I looked at Australia, it's like 50 quid. But then we've still got people in the end of their garden charging 25 quid.
But then when they are at the end of their garden, they think that they should charge that because they don't feel like they're worthy of charging more because they're not a salon. That's what's wrong.
But it's killing everybody. That's the problem, because clients can't see the value.
Yeah, definitely.
But also those people that are charging 25, 30 quid are not actually making any money. The product costs have gone up, and you think that, the costs are all hidden because your electric bill is in your house bill, but it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also a lot of the time, and I see this with everyone, like with my clients, with my masterminders, no one actually sees what comes out of that cost. They're just seeing that overall money that someone puts in their hand at the end of the service. And obviously I've just got £30 or I've just got £40, but they're not seeing what is coming out of that.
And they're doing a like for like comparison. Well, I'd only earn £12 in a salon, so I do it myself and I get 25. We see it all the time. But we do find, I don't know about you, but I've seen recently, probably in the last sort of 6 months, where we'd lost loads of staff to go and work for themselves post-COVID. I'm seeing a lot of them coming back to the industry. They're really lonely because it's not all as glamorous and great as you think, is it? Because there's a lot to be said for working in a team. Yeah.
I think people are missing that connection.
Yeah.
I think that they've figured out it's not as easy as what they think it is.
Not having holiday pay. Not having sick pay, not having any kind of support with anything.
Not switching off at night time and have to do their socials and all of that. Like, it's definitely not all it's cracked up to be, which is why now when employment, we're getting a lot more good candidates coming through.
Yeah, definitely. We're actually overstaffed in a couple of salons, which is like, hasn't happened for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to keep it. I'd rather take the payroll hit and not lose anybody. But I think there's a lot of noise about everyone's just going to have to go self-employed.
I keep seeing it all the time. Like, oh, the employment model is now going to be shot. Like, I actually had a salon reach out to me the other day, and they were like, "Kate, we turn over 7 figures. Like, we're not going to be able to survive because they're obviously a bigger salon, more payroll, and all of that. What do you think about going to the self-employment model?" And I'm like, still no. Even though everything's going up, it's still the most profitable way to run the business as an employed model rather than a self-employed model.
Well, because you have control, right? Mm-hmm. And there's still so much hidden employment. It's so scary how much hidden employment. I had somebody leave the MUIS group to go and work somewhere because she was paid £12 an hour. Like,
right.
And it's a salon that she's worked in before. And she is going to go back to that salon, and she worked with them for 5 years, and she just invoices them for £12 an hour.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you know that is completely illegal.
There's part of me that really wants to stitch up that salon because it's so wrong on all levels. But there's other part of me is that just uneducated and they have no idea that that's wrong?
I think their chance in their arm going to ask for forgiveness afterwards rather than ask for permission.
It's just like we pay all these taxes, and you just get people just getting away with it like that.
Katie, I reckon we could get on our soapbox about a lot of things.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that is it. That is a real problem for me, is this hidden employment, because that poor therapist thinks she's getting a good deal because she's just invoicing £12. And I said, but you're not getting holiday. You have no benefits. You've got nothing. You've got no protection. You're not, if you wanted to have another baby, you couldn't claim, you're self-employed, you can claim like statutory maternity. Yeah. But also what expenses are you offsetting on that £12 an hour? Because you're just going to pay personal tax on that. But then that depends on whether she's declaring her tax, right?
Yeah.
Because realistically, if she's just invoicing £12, she's not running it as a business. Is she declaring anything anyway? That's the question. But this, I think the decision with like the new budget is actually a bit, there's some really idiotic decisions, because the government want people to be in employment.
Yeah.
But they're protecting employed people, right? And so we are, like, it's harder to let someone go. Like, they can sue us now from day one.
Yeah,
it's so much harder to have someone in employment, but then it's making it harder for us to employ them as well.
Yeah.
It just feels really contradictory. And I get it, minimum wage, I get that. But it's the national insurance that's a real killer for me.
Yeah, well, it's going to affect us a lot, isn't it? Like the minimum wage I do get to, as much as it's a pain in the arse.
You can put your prices up a little bit to cover that.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think it's going to affect those with teams?
Well, a lot of people are talking about doing the self-employment model and then asking for forgiveness afterwards, right? And I understand why people are thinking like that. It's not something I would do, purely because I want a team that run that business the way that I want it run, that delivers service the way that I want it delivered. I don't want to become a landlord. However, I understand that model is brilliant. And if you provide a really beautiful space that people rent from, then yeah, you are just a landlord, because you have no control over everything. But I'm so protective of my brand.
Yeah.
I don't want people coming in, wearing whatever they want to wear, using whatever products they want to use, and delivering service however they want to deliver it. Yeah. I want a connected, collaborative thinking team that all kind of work together with one mission to deliver the best service possible.
Yeah.
And I can't do that with self-employment.
No, you can't. Like, you can't at all. I think there's like, my friend's recently done it as well, where she's gone from the employment model to the self-employment model, but she's doing it room rental space, which is, if you're going to do self-employment, then that's the way you should do it. Everyone just pays for the space, a day rate, and then that's it. There's no, cross when it comes to taking client bills or anything like that. You just invoice your day rate. But okay, that salon owner now might be getting, let's just say, £50 a space a day. But your employed staff's going to take so much more than £50 a day. Like, that's what I don't understand. It's going to take so much more money if still they were employed, even though there was going to be added costs. And it's just...
It's still got all the overheads as well. I think... The difficulty is that the threshold is a real problem for me with national insurance. Again, 1.5%. I think if we get into the nuts and bolts, what really pisses me off is that we pay all this national insurance and staff don't even know.
No.
They don't even know that we
I feel
pay
like I have to spell it out to them.
13.5%, now going to 15% on top of your salary. So when you're questioning like how much you get paid, but I have to pay another 15% on top of that.
Yeah.
For the NHS that you can't get booked into. Like, that's what really boils my piss.
Yeah.
Because I would rather choose.
Yeah.
I would rather say, do you know what? Instead of that 15%, guess what? I could pay for private healthcare for all of my staff. And that's when it gets really annoying. But we're stuck with it, so we'll make do. However, it's the threshold where you're now paying national insurance for if they earn more than £5,000 a year. Gone from 9.
Yeah.
So that's actually half of my team. So we employ loads of part-timers. We've got loads of mum. I think 85% of our team are mums, right? So we're not flexible with hours, but because a lot of our clients are mums, our busiest time's actually school hours anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of works for us at the minute because I don't actually have massive national insurance bills because a lot of them are under £9,000.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is now that that's going down to 5, my national insurance bill is going to go up because of all the staff that I've got. So my one thought was like, instead of moaning about it, we can't do anything about it, right? I think we need to be fighting for tax, VAT to be reduced. We need to be fighting for other things like remove business rates. That would be a really good thing. That's a quick win, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like get rid of business rates because the towns are dying. They're not investing in the towns anyway, so just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I don't even get my bins collected. Take that old dated tax away.
Yeah.
Save me £500 a month. Thank you very much. That will cover the other stuff.
Yeah.
And help SMEs and help the high streets and help us all flourish. Reduce the tax so that we can actually keep a little bit more of the money for service-based industries.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to think out of the box when it comes to team. And my one initial thought was, well, I've got loads of staff that work 1 or 2 days. And I actually am really comfortable recruiting people that work for themselves as well. So why don't I just have a whole team of people that work 1 day a week?
That's actually not a bad shout.
They're going to be under that £5,000 a year. They have the connection, with people and team. I'm not paying national insurance.
Do you think you actually do that, or is that just a quick thought?
Potentially.
Just have lots of people that would just...
Yeah, it's harder to manage, but actually I'm thinking of the ones that work with me, that have been with me for years, that work 1 or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Probably the most loyal staff I've got. It works for them. They work for themselves. They come in, they do their job. They love it. They love being part of a team. They still come to me Christmas parties,
Yeah.
And they're really easy because they just come in, do their job and go again. I've got one lady that works for me from 9:30 till 3 every Friday.
And that's it.
That's it. She's one of my best staff members, my cheapest staff members.
Yeah.
And easiest. And she's like in her late 30s, I think. She's got 2 kids. She's got a salon at home that's really successful. She makes a fortune. But what she loves is the training, being part of something, being in a different environment, having a holiday day that she gets covered for,
Yeah.
little perks.
So a couple of things on that then. One, obviously you allow your team to work from home. I don't. So we can
a lot of
scratch on
salons
that.
don't, yeah.
But then also, back in the day, I always used to have everyone full-time. And then since COVID, with obviously everyone having more of a work-life balance, all of my team now, everyone do part-time or 4 days a week. And actually, like you said, like noticing that bill when it comes to national insurance and just overall payroll makes such a difference. And the flexibility when it comes to the team, if someone's sick or we need cover, there's always someone that's not working that might just be able to come in and help. And that's
the
been a
mums,
massive
if they
game
can, they
changer for
will.
us. Yeah.
They will always help if they can, if it's term time or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's been a massive difference for us. I think it's not about always looking at getting someone full-time all the time. Build up your part-time team members.
Yeah, but also like the government don't want us all to do casual contracts. They want people away and they want people in full-time employment. But all the decisions they're making, all it's going to do is put people towards those casual contracts. So we have bank contracts. So we have where they're contracted 1 or 2 days a week. And then they have bank hours. So this works really well for the people that work for themselves. So if they're a bit quieter, We do have the down days, down months, like every other salon. However, if you're working alone, your October, November, January, February tend to be hit a lot harder than salons. Not all the time, but they would then be able to pick up for us when all the other team are on holiday, for example.
Yeah.
So we pay extra for bank shifts. So they can be contracted 2 days, but then if they pick up extra shifts, they get a higher pay.
Yeah. And I think those salons that maybe are overstaffed or... Well, yeah, if they're overstaffed, they're definitely going to have to make redundancies. And I think it's about having that mindset now of, do you know what, you're the business owner. Like, are you just having someone as a safety net to pay their bills? Like, you need to make sure that you get rid of staff.
You've got to be really strategic now. But also, it's those higher salaries that are going to be at risk because that's the higher national insurance, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So those people that are like salon managers, middle managers, and I've just restructured a lot of my salons. So instead of having this salon manager, assistant manager, senior vibe, I've kind of thrown it up in the air and thought, what do I really need? Mm-hmm. Actually, do I need a salon manager that is in there driving revenue, doing this, doing that? Or do I need a group salon manager? And so I've changed I've restructured because also the senior therapist role I think is quite a dated position.
Yeah. It's
good if it is someone that's really experienced. But actually, I wanted a supervisor. I wanted somebody that was just responsible for the day. Mm-hmm. If there was a client complaint or if there's a problem or if there's a staff member phoning sick. But that doesn't need to be someone that was super experienced, as in like the best therapist I've got, because the best therapist I've got don't want any responsibility.
Yeah.
So then I'm bringing in someone younger to be the senior therapist, and all the older ones are like, well, why is she getting paid more than me? She's not senior. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't want any responsibility.
Yeah.
So then I changed it to supervisor and duty manager.
And that's been working.
I don't need a manager.
No.
Save myself a 30 grand salary.
Yeah. It's just really about being savvy, isn't it? And what do you need people to do outside of that therapist role?
Yeah, and it's not thinking about what we've always done, because what's that? The sign of insanity is doing what you've always done, getting the same result, thinking you're going to get something different, isn't it? And I think this is the time, like we have time. Focus on your getting your revenue in, maximise your revenue. If you're going to put your prices up, do it now. Do it before December. Mm-hmm. Get the revenue in now. And then let's like reconvene in the new year. What can we really do? The whole industry needs to level up. We want people to take us seriously, but we're not even taking ourselves seriously. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not even charging what we're worth, but we're like, oh, you know, people think we're just fluffing around painting nails. Well, that's what we're showcasing.
Yeah, it's actually embarrassing how much we charge in this country above the board in all treatments. Yeah. For example, when obviously you specialise in nails, I specialise in lashes. Yeah. You need to get a full set of lashes in America, you're talking about 150 to £200. Like,
also,
if not
people
more.
are paying £90 for a massage where it feels nice at the time, but they've got no ongoing results necessarily. Yeah. They're willing to go to a spa to pay £90, but they're going to question whether they spend £50 on a set of nails in the same time. Yeah. That you'll see for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's what I find madness. Yeah. But we all need to level up. We all need to take ourselves seriously and stop fucking around thinking, oh, I just paint nails, I'll only charge £25. Like, if we're going to do that, let's level up our training, level up our knowledge. And if we're going to do that, we can charge what we're worth. And then this won't feel like such a kick in the teeth. Yeah,
definitely. I'm hearing now all the time as well that, but how do I make more money? How do I make more money? And obviously that is like price increases, retail, you know, adding on extra services on top of that, trying to raise that client spend. But what would you say for those, if they need to make more money, how do they do that?
Well, another avenue I'm going to look at is whether, you know, we all talk about these rock star clients and we know that, you know, the clients that we're looking for. We've always been a high volume salon. Mm-hmm. So we rely on volume. We run at 85% occupancy. You go in on my salon on a Monday and I've got 6 people on nails and pedicures fully booked. Yeah. Pretty much. It's a great position to be in. And I know that if I increase my prices, I've always been like the bottom end of high. You know, like if you put it into lower, middle and upper, I've always been top end, middle, lower, high. Yeah. And that's why I'm really comfortable. I don't want to be the most expensive, but I also don't want to be the middle or cheapest. Well, we are now reaching on top. And if we put our prices up, I've noticed when we put our prices up, everybody else does as well.
Yeah.
We're kind of leading it now in most of the towns that
Which
we're
is a
in.
good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But I do worry that if we push it too far, we're going to lose some of those rock star clients that we have got. But do I then become a real expert salon rather than a high volume salon? We are brilliant at what we do. And do I push it and say, you know what, if you want to pay, you know, there's people that charge £100 for nail art, for example. So do we become that salon and then just make sure, what do we need to do to deliver that value so that people that come go, yeah, well, they are the best, so that's what you got to pay for?
I think there's definitely a balance, isn't there? But yeah, I like being a higher price salon. I just do. I definitely do not want to be anyone that charges the lowest. I'm like, well, I just wouldn't want to go to a salon.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to get my nails done. I wouldn't want to get my lashes done because I don't know what I'm getting. So I think going to that middle to high is great. I like personally being the higher salon. I think that comes with like authority, experience, like trust, all of those things. But also, well, I'd say we're a quick salon as well. We like to be quick. I don't like to long treatments out. I think everyone's time poor.
Yeah.
So the treatments do have to be like fast and quick, but also quality.
Yeah.
But I think that still means you can raise your price. If you lose some clients, you lose some clients.
Yeah, I agree. And that's
there'll
not a
always be
problem.
more clients from people, won't there?
But we also now need to really focus on our marketing to get new clients rather than just say, yeah, we'll lose them, it's fine. It's not fine if you're not getting any new ones that are the higher paying clients. But it's just that strategic thinking. Like, if I had a higher a salon that wasn't such high volume, I could allocate a little bit more time to my treatments, potentially. I could invest a little bit more into training, but also I wouldn't need as many staff.
No, that's the thing. You can go higher priced, have possibly less clients, less staff, but still the same turnover, and that's what what you have to look at, isn't it?
It's really difficult, and and we're all going to have to start thinking about that. I was really close to recruiting an operations manager. Like, I really, really need an ops manager now.
I know, but I really want that job.
I know, I've got £100,000 salary for you though. I think I had a dream the other day that I was actually like, I'd made it. I had massive investment and I was like, right, Katie, come on, I've got £100,000 salary for you now. You're coming over and you're going to be doing my ops.
We've got a running joke, guys. Like, I just always really want to work for Amy. Go and work for money.
She's like, every time I talk about ops role, she's like, that's my dream job. And I was like, I know. But that ops role now is the thing that I'm going to have, like, probably sit back on for a bit. I need it in my business, but what do I actually need? I need someone that can help me support my franchisees. I need someone that can help me drive my business. I need someone that's got some ideas, you know, because I'm all out now. Yeah, I've been doing it a long time. I need some freshness. I need some fresh ideas. Does that person have to be a salaried person? Can it be someone that works for themselves and that is really fucking good at certain things, that has certain skill sets? And that's what I need to start thinking about now.
Yeah, I do think anyone that comes in when it comes to marketing, ops, like anything in them type of roles, to hire them as contractors, self-employed people.
Yeah, exactly. But then the government's not getting what they want, are they? That's what I mean about that stupidity. Like, they're really naive thinking that they just do all of this and then the smaller businesses will pick it all up, because actually smaller businesses are going to go, well, my margins are so tight. We're running on a 10% profit margin. Yeah. 12% if we're doing well. And now you're going to squeeze that down to an 8%. So I'm going to think of something else.
Yeah. We had an in-house marketing team employed and we don't have that anymore. And we've gone all virtual. And I now have a bigger team and it's cost me less.
Is it?
It costs me less. Yeah. They do less hours, but they're super fast.
Yeah, super efficient.
So, you know, now I have like my VA and stuff. She'll go, oh, I need 4 hours a week for you. And I'm like, 4 hours a week? How?
I used to have someone full time for that.
And then she's like, you did. And I'm like, I was paying like a 42 grand salary pre-COVID for a PA. And now I've got a VA. And she needs 4 hours a week. She does everything perfect.
Wowzers. But this is, people want that work-life balance. So people are going to then look at their skill sets and say, well, I'm really good at socials, for example. And I don't want someone that does socials with me full time. I pay one of my staff members at the minute in the salon and she does 2 days extra for me. But yeah, we're now going to have to really look about what do we actually need? What skills do we need? And can we just have someone doing it 1 or 2 days a week?
Yeah.
So instead of having a salon manager in Horsham, I had like somebody on maternity leave and I didn't want to, it's really hard to recruit for a full-time management role for maternity cover anyway. And I was like, we're 6 months in. I did have someone, I fired her because she was not good. So I brought in somebody that used to work with me a long time ago and she's come in as a consultant. She charges me a day rate. She's got a full-time job. And actually she comes in 1 day a week and she does just as much.
So she'll manage the team?
Kind of. She does more project-based. So she's helping me nurture the management that's in there because they're quite new or inexperienced. She's got some real superpowers in HR and team management. She's done spa management before. So if we've got like a sickness issue, she just gets her teeth stuck into things. And I'll give her like projects. So at the minute we're doing a bit of a refurb, like a mini refurb, and I'm teaching her about budgets. And, you know, if the revenue's not coming in, then obviously you can't spend what's in your budget and things like that. And she's selling everything in the salon. So she goes in on Thursday, she sold my sofa. She's sold like anything that's in the loft. She's been selling it so that she's got more money to spend on this little mini refurb because they want to extend the nail bench and like flip it around and do some other bits in it. And I was like, well, you can only do it if, you know, the money's not there. So we have to find the money, make it or sell. And so she's trying to do both. It's brilliant. And I love working with people like that. But because she's on self-employed, you know, like I've got no risk. I could literally just say, I haven't got.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working. So I haven't got enough money this month. There's nothing she can do about it. But also she's got a full-time salary. And I was like, is this the way forward?
I do think it is. Like, I do think it is. When I had the employed people, when it come to the marketing, the pressure for me as a boss.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I've got my salon team, they're employed. I would never change that in a million years. Like not in a million years. So that is always the employed team. It will always be an employed team. But then the added pressure of having the outside people that work on the business with me and then also have to do their holiday and also having to make sure they're happy and that they're doing things right.
It's a different mindset as well, isn't it?
It's just completely different.
Mindset. When you're looking for someone that's driven, focused, ambitious, that hunger to, you know, like not just on bonus related salaries, but like I want someone with a bit of fire in their belly to say, actually, let's try this, let's do that. I want someone that's willing to screw up a little bit or try.
I actually find that they come to me with the ideas and, we need to work on this, we need to work on that, because they don't actually want to lose their contract with me.
Yeah, right. So they've got to find the stuff. That's exactly what's happening here. When if it's a salon manager, I feel like I'm sometimes like dragging them or teaching them or showing them the way.
Yeah.
What I really want is those people that actually it's the kind of job that I would have loved. You know, if I was a consultant and I was just working 1 day a week in each salon to drive it, like, because if you're working like that, your mindset is like you're going to be driven by success or the impact you're having, right? And if you're making a difference to that salon because it's good for your credibility and your reputation.
Yeah, I think it definitely is the way forward. Definitely.
Yeah. So I think this whole budget is going to affect that middle management in our industry the most. I think there's going to be more redundancies in senior positions than we've ever seen.
In those with bigger teams, I think we look at the bigger salons and think, wow, they must be turning over so much money and I wish I could be a salon like that. But actually,
it's going to hit us harder.
It's going to hit them so much harder.
Yeah.
The smaller salons obviously going to hit everyone. But, you know, as long as you've got your price increases and stuff in place, you might be okay. But even regardless of the budget, we've gone from a large team of about 12 people in just one salon down to 4 therapists. And mainly that was because of half the team were on maternity and different things like that. But actually it got to the point where I was like, okay, our turnover has dropped, but our profit has risen.
So you've just got better, more efficient hours. Because that is a big problem. A lot of people give staff the hours they want rather than what's right for the business. And it was a simple exercise we done recently. We just said, like, we're overstaffed. Does anybody want to reduce their contract? I had 3 people come forward going, I want to drop it down. I was like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Save 25 hours a week instantly.
Which it adds up, to a year? It's like a
Oh
crazy
my
amount of money.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's just saved probably, what, I don't know, $5,000 maybe?
Yeah.
And it was just asking the question. People don't want to be made redundant, but also everyone's so het up on a work-life balance. People do want to work for themselves. And do you know what? Let's do it together.
Okay, so working for the self, because I still don't allow it.
I
I'm
know,
not going to change
you're
my
so
mind
prickly
on it.
about this as well, aren't you?
Oh my God, I'm the worst boss. No, I'm not.
You're not, but you've also been burnt really, really badly.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Yeah, definitely. But it's always been a rule, even before we got burnt. So even having stuff like this in place, you still get burnt.
Yeah, and there's a lot of salons. There's more salons that don't allow it than salons that do. I've realised very quickly in Mirrors that self-employment model doesn't work for me. I've had one person that sustained it for a couple of years, but I didn't feel like it was ever fair for her. And then I found that when we were recruiting, like a couple of years ago, it was impossible to find anybody, and everybody was struggling because everyone had worked for themselves after COVID. I just thought, like, we've got to change things up, and I'm very much have you ever done Belbin training? Like personality styles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a plant, right? I'm a plant and a shaper and a driver. Yes.
I'm a red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will always try and think of new ideas, new initiatives. I won't worry about what anyone else is doing. I will always just think about what we need, what works for us.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I don't really care as long as I've tried it. I'd rather remove something and say, well, yeah, we tried that, doesn't work, than not bother. And so very quickly we realised that most people that were applying with us work for themselves. And then we figured out what they're applying for. And it was because of connection, community, training, being part of something. And I was like, what if we can offer this? What if we have our culture, and it's all down to culture, right? What if our culture is, you are welcome to work for yourself, but we have such a strict gross misconduct policy that the first instance I hear you poaching clients, you're out. Like instant dismissal, no notice. That's how tight our contract is with it.
So I think you put certain things in place that protects that, don't you? Rather than, and also you've, through that recruitment process, you're spotting the ones that are lonely, want that connection, so you know they'll be a better fit, rather than, she works from home, she wants to build the home business, but is going to use the salon to get there.
It's coming at it from a different angle. We will spot those people a mile off if they're coming to our business. But also I'm very vocal about it. I think it's the worst juju in the world. I think if you are setting up your business by poaching somebody else's, you are going to fail.
Yeah, definitely.
Because karma's a bitch and it will bite you in the arse. If you are going to be a bad person, if you're going to be a bad person, if you're going to show up to a business, it takes thousands and thousands of pounds to build up a client database, as we all know. And if you're going to have the audacity to come into a business and think that you are going to come in, poach those clients and go off and be successful, you are fooled, my friend.
Yeah.
You are really, really fooled, because karma doesn't work like that. And I make it really clear. And I even do, like in my induction training, online training, I talk about it there. And I talk about it exactly like I've just explained it. Like if you want to set up a business and you want to succeed, if you want to do what I've done, do it ethically and do it correctly. Yeah. Because otherwise it'll happen to you. And it will be this vicious cycle. So we stop it now. If you want to grow your business, if my team have a business that provides a different service to what we do, I even promote it for them. I have a full database, thousands and thousands of clients. If you're going to do microdermabrasion,
Yeah, microderm.
Yeah, it's not microdermabrasion, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. You can tell I don't do it, can you? If you do any of those treatments that we don't offer, I will promote them. But you poach my clients, you're out. Yeah. It's that simple. It's a mutual respect. I will respect you, you will respect me. And it's the same as when someone leaves. Like if you want to leave and set up your own business, I am here cheering you on from the sidelines. Like, huge congratulations. You leave me for something better, then I've done my job. Yeah. You leave me for something worse, then I've failed miserably. And so I want to support you. I want to see you succeed. Mm-hmm. But when you leave, we figure out what we're going to say to our clients respectfully. I don't ever tell them that they're setting up on their own. And if that staff member starts telling people, then they're out with no notice.
Yeah, we'd be the same.
Yeah. And I just think it's all about that culture. I've got somebody that works in one of my salons who has got her own salon. She's set it up since working for me. You could say that the name is a little bit too similar to mine.
Ouch.
It is a bit ouch. But you know what? She's working in the salon. She's still there working, and she's still respectful. So
they still got that part of like rebooking, wanting to build the business,
still building that loyalty.
So I think it proves then that there's no like right or wrong if you want to implement no working from home, or you can work from home or set up a business, whatever, as long as you're picking the right people. Always comes down to the recruitment process, doesn't it?
Massively.
Every single time.
And you can see like what people wanting to do, but it's culture, Katie. It's all culture. And I will not treat anybody like they're an idiot unless they behave like it.
Yeah.
And I will treat everybody with respect unless you prove me otherwise. And I think, and I expect my management team to do the same. We've had our longest standing staff member in Farnham, bless her, she was with me from before I opened.
Wow.
Oh God, it was heartbreaking. And she left recently to set up on her own. And she's setting up a salon in the same town. And she is one of the best therapists I've ever worked with. And she just said, like, it's an itch I've got to scratch. And I just think if I don't do it now, I'm going to be in Muiz for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
And she left so beautifully, so respectfully. Like, it was an absolute dream. And I said to her, I don't think this is the end of our relationship. Like, would you ever be interested in doing like induction training as a self-employed trainer? And she went, are you for real? Would you actually do that? I was like, hell yeah. Like, why wouldn't I? You're amazing.
Yeah.
And she went, why are you being so nice? I'm leaving to set up on my own. I said, because you've not mentioned it to one person. And then between us, we came up with the agreement. There will be clients that follow her, that will go to her. And that's okay. Like,
we can't control the client.
Of course we can't.
It's making
also,
sure that the therapist is respectful.
Yeah, and also
happening.
like the clients see this, they feel it. And if they're in an environment that feels like it's having a family feud, they're not going to want to be there. And so it's how you communicate that with clients. And we just said, like, at the time, she hadn't actually signed her lease anyway. She was having problems. She said, I don't really want to talk about this with clients. I don't want to, it's a really grey area. So can I just say that I'm having a change of heart and a change of like direction, but I still haven't figured it out yet. I was like, of course. And that is the message that we had across, and we always come up with that together, whatever that message is.
Yeah.
But I will never say that they're setting up and they're going on their own, because then it puts the clients in a difficult position as well. And it would have put her in a really difficult situation, which she just didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
If the clients want her, they'll find her.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that's, good for you. But she then deserves to be successful because she's not done anything disrespectful or untoward. But also, if that doesn't work out, my door is absolutely always open.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what it comes down to. Like, when teams go to set up on their own, if they do it right in the first place, like, we've got one of the girls, Jodie, she left to start up on her own and she done it all correct. I didn't have to put her on garden leave beforehand. She's working. I think she's got a cabin now in her garden. She still comes to us for her treatments. Like, she'll give clients to us if she is full and vice versa. And it just works. And for me, I'm like, as a boss, I've helped her create that. And that's just absolutely amazing.
Well done,
and I
you.
love that. Absolutely love that. But then you'll get someone that leaves and sets up on the same street as me.
Oh my God.
And then sets up and says it's for karma. And you're just like, what? Oh, we've got that at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's just like, obviously, it's just the way you do it and the respect that you have for
Guess
people.
which one's going to be more successful though, Katie?
Exactly.
And I think that's the difficulty. I think it's all about that mutual respect. And also, even if you hate your boss, even if you hate that manager and you don't think that they know how to run a business, even if you will never run your business like that, leave respectfully, because you never know what will happen.
Yeah.
You never know what will happen to your health, your family, other things. You might absolutely hate having to deal with clients and their personal drama and not being able to turn up and not having cancellation fees. You might absolutely hate it and you want to go back.
Yeah.
The problem is the beauty industry is small. So, we've got 7 salons. If one person does one of our salons over, we tell everybody. Nobody will recruit them. If we have one person apply for an interview and doesn't show up, guess what? We tell everybody.
Yeah. We've even got a local WhatsApp group with loads of the local
Have
salons. Yeah, and they're all local. There's no competition between us all. If we can't fit a client in and say it's urgent or a salon's staff is sick or whatever, and we need to pass them over to another salon, we'll put it in the WhatsApp group. And we always do it. Yeah,
that's lovely.
They're all local, like literally within like the same area, town, everything. And if someone doesn't show up for an interview or is a time waster, we put it in the group. So we'll be like, watch out for this person because they're looking for people right now. But
people just don't know. They just have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's down to mutual respect, and I will continue to allow people to work for themselves. And my contract has got a little bit tighter recently as well, because we've put in there about training, which I've always had, but I've emphasised it more now because we do so much training. Even if it's in-house, like we're still doing so much more.
Yeah.
So, it works. And it might end up being that all these people that have cabins in their end of the garden go and work in a salon one day a week. If you can find a salon that will, have you. I think but also the training you get, the access, but you're levelling up by being around other therapists. We're doing this day in, day out. I can't remember how many nail services we've done, but it was like 25,000 gel manicures or something in a year. It was insane, figures. Yeah. And I was like, you're working for yourself. You think you're good and you think you're going to learn online by looking at other people's social media. You will learn 10 times more, 10 times quicker by being in a salon one day a week.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
With other therapists.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll never learn the same than being around all those incredible people. And you get to have a laugh at the same time. I mean... that's what I'd do.
Yeah, definitely.
So have I changed your mind at all?
No, do you know what though? No.
It's a hard no.
You haven't. I think if I have my time again and it didn't potentially make me have the team that I have, then I would be definitely up for giving it a go and testing it. But I think the culture I've created currently in my salon is they're not even interested. And I love that. They just want to work for the salon, they want to go home.
Nice.
And then that's it. And that's the type of people that I recruit, the real employee mindset. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Like they're the greatest team ever currently right now. But yeah, and it's like if you allow one, everyone else will jump on it because again, it forms that culture, right? Yeah. Which is why you say, well, everyone works from home as well in your business because they see each other doing it. And whereas it's different in ours. But I would definitely be up for testing it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But as long as it's tight boundaries.
It is, but also the team tend to manage it as well. So because there's a lot of mutual respect, if a team member heard another staff member even talking to somebody about doing their own business, they'd be the first one to grass them up. Yeah. Absolutely, categorically. They'd be like, it's a no. This is what's happened.
Also, I think it does help though that you're a chain of salons. Like you have a big name out there. Like you must be like, yours just so big out there. I don't even think you realise it.
I have no idea, no. Because, I mean, I remember when I spoke to you and I said, we opened our 7th salon in Winchester. And I was like, people are taking me a bit more seriously now.
Yeah, like, honestly, like it is. So I think them staff also would know, like, we can't mess. This is like a big company we work for rather than a much smaller salon. The team might want to take the piss a bit because they'll be like, well...
what you can do about it.
Yeah, whereas you've got more force behind you.
Most definitely. And I would... absolutely go to town as well. If someone was actively poaching clients, I would go to town on it. But one, because I would show the rest of the team that I mean business, and two, to me it's like the lowest form of disrespect. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That and stealing. I mean, we've had that. Most people have had that in their salons, haven't they? And especially because we use the gel bottle, and I love it. But it's so easy to nick a £20 bottle of Builder gel. And think no one's going to miss it. So we lock it all away now. But it's theft, and we had a major theft problem with cash as well, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, that was awful. And oh God, it was mad. We had it was in my old house, and I had those sticky whiteboard sheets all over my kitchen because we would do a sense check, like a cash count every evening and every morning so that we could try and see the pattern. And then every time it was always 20 or 40 quid. And it was always in the evening, and it was always the same people working. And I had 3, and I had it going for 4 months. And me and the manager, between us, nobody else was involved in it. It was it's the same 3 people, and I couldn't pin it down to who it was. And then they just started getting a bit cockier, and then they started nicking tips.
Oh my God.
And we found out who it was. We couldn't find them for that, put different cameras up, and then it all stopped. And then I had to like put a safe, like a bolted safe. And then we done it like a drop safe, you know, when you seal the bag and you put it in, but it needs like a lock to get it out and it's bolted. Then the cash started stopping, but the tips started. But I couldn't prove it because of where everything was laid out. But I knew who it was. So we found something else that we could get them for.
Because you've got to be really careful, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's
but we've done it all
That's
legit.
The worst.
I think we've experienced absolutely everything. If it's not here, then it's in the spas that I've managed. Like everything. Anyway, it's totally off subject, isn't it?
Well, I feel like everyone's got 2 episodes in one here. If you can work from home, if you can't, and, you know, team culture and then the budget.
Yeah, culture is everything though, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's not just all about having fun. Everyone's got to get something from it, from that job. But I wouldn't stress too much about the budget yet. Yes, we're going to be hit. But what can we do? One, as an industry, to level up and take ourselves seriously. And we want to command the respect that we deserve, right? That comes down to messaging, communication to our clients. Like, I might actually do a post to talk about the prices worldwide.
Yeah.
For the same treatment, this is how much it costs everywhere else. I might just do it because clients haven't got a clue.
Yeah. Well, it's educating the clients as well, isn't it? Like, they just know what everyone charges and that's kind of it, just going with it.
Yeah.
So it's educating the clients and the industry.
But also without making the clients, it's like, it's not their problem. That's what we have to remember. And there's a lot of that in a lot of the Facebook groups, isn't there? You know, like this whole cancellation charge. Have you seen all of that? And people jump on and they're like, no, if that client hasn't turned up, would you turn up to your job and not get paid? And I was like, you can't compare apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work like that. I understand cancellation charge. I'm very strict on it. But there's always got to be a little bit of like grey.
Yeah.
There's something.
Well, I think if someone's dying, then we'll let them off.
Like, you know, like we are in an industry where we care about people. And if you are working for yourself, you have to budget. You have to budget for that.
Yeah.
For being a little bit flexible. Otherwise, you're just not going to be, like, people aren't going to want to go to you if you make it really difficult for them to come to you. Like, yeah, there's so many different thoughts on all of that. But I think we just need to be a little bit savvier and really think outside of the box.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the budget then. Quick roundup.
Yeah.
Price increases.
I think a gentle price increase for sure. But when we're communicating, don't put in, like, don't tell your clients, oh, well, my costs have gone up, it's got to come onto you. Because they'll be like, well, why is it my problem?
We don't even announce price increases. I done a price increase this week. No one even knows. And we won't get anyone say anything. And I've always done it, and I teach my salons to do this as well.
Do you really? See, we always don't do massive announcements.
No.
We just say, we give everybody a 30-day warning.
No.
To some degree, but we don't ever...
Anyone that's already booked in, obviously they'll have the old price, but then anyone new that books in will have the new price. So if they didn't rebook on their last appointment, then should have booked on your last appointment, you would have got the cheaper price.
See, we do it straight up. Like, how do you manage that in the system?
Because if they're already booked with Forest, you can do change price now or on new bookings.
Of course.
So anyone that books online, they will see that it's gone up, kind of gets rid of that awkwardness for the staff to be, oh, well, that's more expensive than it was before.
Yeah.
They're already over it by the time they come in salon. We raise our prices about 4 times a year and we never get any comeback. Really? At least 4 times a year. So now we've obviously raised them this week. And because we do it regularly, we don't have to do big price increases. So we've just raised everything by £1 this week. That's it. Then in January, we'll raise everything else by £1 again.
Yeah.
And then in April, we'll raise everything else.
Right, okay.
And then there's your price increase done and no one is even aware.
Fabulous. Great little insight.
Really, really works for us.
Yeah. I don't think I would do like a big announcements like I have before, especially if it's like a quid or two. Yeah.
Food for thought.
It is food for thought, actually.
I think it's the beauty of having an online booking system. When it was just paper flyers all the time and, you know, you just don't know until you just look at this price list.
Yeah.
But now it's so there that I just don't feel that we need to do that. Everyone always knows when I'm on this podcast anyway, I'm like, we don't go for a Big Mac and they go, next week, your Big Mac is now going to be this price. Are you okay with that?
It's a really good point.
They don't, do they?
God, that's a little nugget for me to take away, isn't it?
No, guys, should have done a price increase tonight. I literally, sometimes I'll do the take-ins every week. my CEO numbers every week, and I think, this isn't really hitting the bar this week. Just do a price increase.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, but I have to do it for 7.
Well, yeah.
And then we have to do the
true.
analysis beforehand, then we have to do the price lists and then distribute. So what I will do, though, is probably not go in for like a big announcement, but we do have to, we are going to have to do something. But I don't think it's fair to pass it on to clients, as in like the way you communicate with clients is like it's their problem.
Oh, yeah, definitely
I think that's
not.
really unfair.
Definitely not. But I don't feel that it needs to be justified on why. It's obvious why.
Yeah.
But I think if your prices are correct in the first place, your profit margins are there, your break-even points, then you shouldn't have to do really large price increases anyway. It will just be the odd bit here and there. Rather than, oh my God, I'm going to have to raise my prices by a tenner. Well, your prices couldn't have been right in the first place then.
Yeah, see, when we do a price increase, because we sell so many courses, we normally do a price increase. We give them a month and we say, look, if you want to buy any courses, buy them now. And it helps with cash flow. So we always do our price increase when we need the cash flow.
Yeah.
So the price increase is coming in 1st of March normally, but we talk about it in February. So everyone then brings in the course sales for the month that we need the money in.
Very clever.
Is it though?
It is.
So yeah, but I will think about that middle manager salary and think about like those salaries that are sort of 30 grand plus. What do I need them? How can I outsource? That's what I'll be looking at differently.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously you're near enough fully utilised, but if you're not fully utilised, then
don't
definitely
reduce your hours, man. And also go straight to the team first. Don't panic about it. Just say, look, we're going to have to cut back. But I have it in my contract that if there's lack of business that I can reduce contracts.
Really? I think lots of people are missing that because it's one thing you can't do if it's in contract, not in contract, isn't it?
Yeah. So rather than go straight for redundancies, I can actually enforce with a certain period of time, I can enforce that contract hours are reduced.
Love that.
Permanently, if I need to.
Well, I hope this episode helps everyone. Yeah. Like, don't panic. Just put things in place and you'll all be good and roll on 2025.
Let's be a bit more like savvy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thanks, KG.
Thanks.